Hi everyone, today I'm here with Jaxyn. I'm going to be interviewing him and I've wrote down some questions that I have formulated and we'll get a chance to hear his story and what he's gone through living here in Payson, Utah. So my first question is, tell me a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and just tell me your story of being diverse here.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you so much, Addie, for having me on.
Yeah.
It's really awesome of you. My name is Jaxyn. I'm from Payson, Utah, and I am a white gay male in good old LDS Utah.
Yes!
Yeah. So if you guys can imagine living in Utah and being like proudly open and out, it gets a lot of heads to turn.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
It's definitely one of those things that you have to own it once you're there and you're comfortable with it. You have to be proud of it and just never look back once you're going.
Yeah, I like that. Okay, so my second question is, since you're considered diverse here in Utah, what is one thing that you wish people understood about you?
One thing I wish people understood about me in any of the LGBTQ community is that, like, we don't choose to be gay or bisexual or pansexual or lesbian or transgender. Just like anything in the community, like, I feel that we are whatever we feel is right for ourselves.
Yeah.
I definitely don't think we choose to be ridiculed every day. I don't think we choose to be bullied and tormented by people. Life would be a lot easier for all of us if we could fit in the norm. Mm-hmm. Not going to school and having people definitely whisper and talk behind your back with their friends because you have a different orientation than them. And I know that it's not their fault. It's no one's fault. It's really just what is shaped in society of what's the normal and what's good. And I think the best thing that us in the community do is our open arms with love and acceptance for whoever anyone is. And we just want to teach everyone. We just want to share all the knowledge that people are seeking and are willing to learn about the community. And I think that's going to help society be more open arms and accepting of everyone, not just the community of LGBTQ+.
Yeah, I agree. And I really like what you said, that it's not anyone's fault. It's just the way society is shaped. And we have to change the way that society has shaped that, you know?
Yeah.
Because there's like a stereotype of, if you're gay, you're this, and just things like that we need to change.
100%. I believe that even the younger generation, Generation Alpha, is being more open-minded and more open arms and more accepting. I believe that this next generation that's coming up before us is going to be more on an open-minded level.
Yeah.
I even notice now at the high school, these sophomores, a lot of them are very much more open-minded than the years that we have ahead of us.
Yeah.
I think that the younger years are beginning to be more open-minded, very more open arms, and just want to love and accept as well. I think that,
I agree, and I think it's up to us to help them be that change. Because if they look up to us and they see that we're making these changes, then they're going to want to make those changes as well.
100%. It's basically, it's up to the parents to choose if that's something they want to incorporate, feeding or sharing that knowledge with their kids and not making it something that's bad.
Exactly.
That's considered bad. And
then I always think too, like, even if your parents think differently than you, that's okay.
Yeah.
You know, like, if you believe that discrimination is bad, but yet you see your parents doing it, you can stand up and say something, you know?
100%.
We don't always need to follow our parents. Like, we should follow our parents, but when it comes to deep topics like this, you have to decide for yourself. Like, I'm not going to go and vote for someone because my parents voted for them in past years, you know? I'm going to vote for them because I know my facts. I've experienced things, you know? Just things like that.
100%. I really like that. And that actually goes along with just, for example, like, I know that there are obviously people who have different opinions than other people. Mm-hmm. I know that not everyone agrees with our choosing of lifestyle. And that's why it's just so much more important to hopefully, if they're willing to seek out and learn and have the knowledge and give us the opportunity to teach them, then I think that we could be headed in a good direction of like love and acceptance and just overall a happier world.
Yeah, I agree. So my third question is, has there been a time where somebody has made a difference in your life by accepting your unique differences? If so, tell me about it.
Yeah, so my mom is a very amazing advocate for the LGBTQ community. And I remember when I was like at my breaking wits of just like really contemplating a lot of things in my life, and like I was at such a dark spot with just myself. Me finally getting to the point where I finally was able to accept myself, which is a whole nother story in itself. It's a whole nother like story of how that happened. But fast forwarding, it took me a few months to finally come forward and tell my mom. She was the first person I told. Actually, it's not. That's another story. But the first person I told was basically how I was outed unwillingly. I was outed. But the first person I told that I felt very accepted by and very connected to on that level and trusted was my mom. And my mom was amazing about it. Me and her had a very like heart to heart, like sobbing eyes, very like real talk just about how she believes that it doesn't matter who you love as long as you're loved, and as long as you love and you're happy, then it doesn't matter who you love, as long as you're happy. And that's like her biggest message was like, if you're happy, then do it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
I like that. So my fourth question is, how do you think being diverse can improve the way people think about life?
Can you say that again?
Yeah. How do you think, I'll word it differently. How do you think diversity can improve perspective?
I believe that diversity can help a lot of people with perspective. I think that the more people own whoever they are, I think that more people that own themselves is gonna be able to have a bold and brave face for the world. I think that we're setting ourselves to be the person that we wish we had when we were younger. And I think that it's a big example for the younger generation to look up to, because it's going to build that generation to be more open to things, more willing to cooperate with things, or more willing to understand more than just what the general society expects.
Yeah, I agree. I think too, when you are able to see behind the scenes of like someone's life who is diverse, you're able to understand more and be more accepting, because it's easier for someone who has seen the trials that someone's going through and what it's like. It's easier for them to love and accept rather than someone that doesn't experience those things,
100%. I think that's why a lot of people also like are in certain topics or certain situations more sensitive to things than other people who haven't been able to experience that.
Yeah.
It's just by trial and error and just experiences in their personal lives that make them more sensitive to that. I
agree. Okay, so my fifth question is, what would you tell young kids or even adults who are struggling with being open and embracing their differences?
I would tell them that take as much time as you need. That's so important. Like, take as much time as you need. And I know that even accepting difficult things of yourself or whatever you're going through for yourself is a lot by itself. So really don't rush the process. For all my LGBTQ members, I just want to say that labels don't matter. It's just something that people will choose to go by or can go by just to make things a lot easier in certain aspects. But there's literally no, like, the spectrum is so wide, and I just think that take as much time as you need, and once you get to that point, embrace it and be proud of it and own it and be the happiest you can be, because that's when you're finally learning to truly love yourself. And once you truly have that in your heart, you literally glow, and people recognize that, and people finally see the true, happy, amazing person you are. And it's important to be yourself and to live to your true self. So just own it, own yourself, be kind, and yeah.
I agree. I think because it took me a really long time to want to own it, you know? And I really like that you said that, because it does take time, and it's not something that you can just rush, you know? And I think that goes for anything, like even just loving yourself, you know? If you're having troubles with that, it's okay, because everyone goes through periods of time in their life. But you just have to have experiences shape you, and, you know, like you said, just take time.
Yeah, definitely take time. And then once you're finally there, show your colors, dude. Just be proud of it. Own it. Don't look back. I mean, you're focusing on you, and that's the best part. People are obviously going to have their own opinions, and that's normal. Just own it and literally live your best life. That's all I can say once you get to that point.
I agree. My 6th question is, if you could change one thing in this world, what would that be?
I just want everyone to be happy. Like, I want everyone to be open arms and open-minded and be loving. Like, I want that. That's like my biggest goal, and I literally like advocate for that in my high school, is love. Like, love as much as you can, give love, have love, spread love. It's an energy that you bring, and it goes a long ways to be able to just spread the positivity. You never know what someone could be going through, and it's just really important, because if someone's having a rough day and you at least were able to spread the love to them, then you might have saved them, you know?
Yeah.
You might have really helped them out, and I think that, like, being the light for everyone is really important.
Yeah, I love that. So my 7th question is, what is the hardest part of being diverse in this community, and what changes would you like to be seen?
The hardest part of being diverse in this community is definitely, honestly, it's really comes down to just not being fully accepted by everyone. And that sounds crazy, because not everyone likes everyone, and not everyone gets along with everyone, and not everyone loves everyone, and that's just how it is. Obviously I would love for things to be different. I know that in myself, that's how I perceive things is, well, that's not the way I like to perceive life, is spreading love and giving love and accepting everyone, and just being a friend or someone that's there for everyone. I think that the hardest part, though, well, one of them is, not being able to be fully accepted for just being counted as one of the normal ones for most of the time. And that always, honestly, I feel like hangs on anyone's shoulder. I think whether you're black, bisexual, gay, Islamic, like anything, I think that judgment that comes from people is sometimes in the back of everyone's head, going in public and stuff. But I think once you finally come to the realization of just like forgetting about all that, and you love yourself for who you are, and you stand for what you stand for, it doesn't matter anymore. And then what was the last part?
What changes would you personally like to see?
The changes I would personally like to see around our area is just more love. I think that we need to have less judgment and more love. I think that the more love we have, the better the world is going to be. I think that if we are able to be more open arms and less what's the word I'm looking for? If we're able to give people opportunity to be treated the same way that you treat your best friend or your anyone, then I think that things are going to go a lot further. I think that we'll have less hatred in the world, and I think that's really important.
Yeah, I like that. I agree too that just loving everyone is the key to that question, because like if we can just love and actually listen to what people have to say, we can learn so much.
100%. Totally.
Well, I finished all of my questions, but is there anything else that you would like to say or share?
Yeah, I would like to say that I think that like we need to really just bring it together and love. I know it's like such a cliche thing to say, but if we can really like work on learning and accepting everyone's differences, I think that we could really I think that things would go a lot further than how they are going right now. One thing I would like to say is, for all my LGBTQ members as well, make sure that you are telling people that you trust about who you are and you coming to terms with yourself. Don't tell anyone that you can put in their hands that you are not sure of trusting. In fact, maybe someone that you know who is a close family member that you think you can trust might be best. It just depends on what your situation is. But before you even tell anyone, I hope that you can be to a point where you at least own it for yourself. From experience, I know that when I was really, really struggling, that I told someone that I thought I could trust, thinking that it would, in a sense, just maybe just have some ease on my shoulders, and it only added more stress. It actually made me very anxious, and it cost me a lot. I was actually outed, and it was a rough time because I wasn't able to choose how I wanted things to go about for myself, and I just was forced head on of how I wanted to handle this situation of, once it was finally around and out, people kind of took what they did with it. And it ruined a lot of things for me, but I will say that it was a blessing in disguise. It was really like something that I held on to and learned from, and it made me a better person. I think that it really weaved out the people I wanted around my life, and around me, the people that I wanted to surround myself with. It really showed everyone's true colors, and that's something that everyone will recognize, that once you start finally being yourself, it'll show everyone else's true colors of whether they're still with you or not. And that's something that is really something to take note on. It's just that life's too short not to be yourself either. Life is way too short not to be yourself, and live every second you can, because before you know it, it could be gone. And that's just something that I decided that I've got to live every second of my life, because it could be gone tomorrow and people are going to hate me either way. So here I am. I'm going to own myself. I'm going to love myself. I'm going to work on taking care of myself, and everyone else can either love me or accept me, or learn to get to know me before they turn to jumping to conclusion or judging me. Something really important, and I think, I'm always, of course, open arms to anyone. I love you. I don't care if you have different opinions than me or you still don't agree with my choice of living. I love you, and I know that just because your opinions are different than mine doesn't mean that you're a bad person. I still think everyone's great inside, and I know that everyone means well. I hope people, that's it. That's all I have.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming to this interview today. And if you guys haven't seen my last interview, you can go watch that as well. But yeah, thanks for sharing your insights.
Thanks for
and
having
for coming
me.
today.
Thanks
You're
for
welcome.
having me. That's awesome.